Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Power Hour with Dare to Scale. My name is Warsha. I am a coach, business coach for founder CEOs. I've been doing this for a very long time, as most of you know, and I specifically coach second generation CEOs because that's one of the greatest ways to contribute to the local economy by helping businesses succeed and transcend generations and create legacy businesses. So today is a very critical topic. Now, this is a topic that has been an ongoing scenario for the last two editions. If you have joined us, and if you haven't, please go back and listen to those two as well to see where this particular topic started. And we keep going back into it, and mainly because just as a chance meeting, I met with Surabhi, who is our guest speaker today. Surabhi and I met through another network that we're part of. And literally within minutes of sitting down for a chat, we almost like zoned in on this particular topic and realized that how deeply passionate we are about this topic in helping business owners do what they do to build that amazing business empire. I can see that my video is lagging a little bit. Bear with us. Everything will sort itself out. In the meantime, I want to say a big hello and a big welcome to Surabhi Shenoy. Thank you for joining us, Surabhi. Please say hello to our viewers today.
Thank you, Varsha. So excited to be here. The topic that we clicked on is so close to my heart, and I wish I can educate as many entrepreneurs. The things that I've tried, tested, and worked, got grilled almost. If I can make it easier for somebody, my job is done. And I think you do the same from your own experience. So here we are today, trying to make a
Totally.
small little
Here we
difference
are.
in our way, fully.
You bet. So, first of all, let me do proper introductions. Surabhi is a CEO coach. But why is she a CEO coach, and why Surabhi's story completely resonated with me is because she, before turning coach, Surabhi is a twice exited, built, run, successfully exited two businesses. And that wisdom that goes with having that experience behind you is invaluable. And knowing from her own experiences, now Surabhi thought, well, what can I do to impact business owners a little bit more in my own way? And that's when she says, well, whatever experience that I have gained, I'm going to start imparting that. How wonderful it is. Surabhi, welcome to the world of business coaching. It is one of the most rewarding fields out there, and it's one of the most impactful fields out there as well. So, again, welcome to this amazing world of business coaching.
I couldn't have said it better, Varsha. So thank you for that. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey of almost 20, 22 years
Yeah.
of building businesses, growing them, struggling through them, and then finally
Yes.
finding my wisdom. And lot many people played an important role in that. I mean, I cannot take
Yeah.
even a bit of credit on just by myself, right? I mean, I always say we stand on the shoulders of giants, people who
You
have worked
bet.
before us and actually imparted their knowledge and
Yeah.
then walked in my experience as my advisors, mentors, and
Yeah.
made it slightly easier for me. But as I started receiving their experience and their wisdom, my journey became slightly easier and more pleasurable rather than me feeling I'm fighting the battles all the time. So
Yes.
after
Yes.
after selling the second business, after exiting the second business, um, I actually thought I'm going to be semi-retired, and it's we are so used to creating that impact that it almost gets addictive, right? That we want to be
Yes.
useful when I'm
Yeah.
breathing on this earth. I want to give back, and that drive doesn't go down even if the business is not anymore with you.
No, no,
Did you
no,
experience
it
that, by the
doesn't.
way? because you have done the similar things, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
you still own the business. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
still run a business. It's going to be 14 years old next early next year. So yes, every single step, every single day is a new day. Every single day we somehow when I wear my business owner's hat on, my founder's hat on, while I have a brilliant team backing me, we cycle through that emotion at least once every 24 hours to think, oh, what? And that overwhelming sense comes through to say, where is this going? What's the next step? What is the bigger step? Which absolutely brings me back to today's topic is maximizing value, building value in your business, building wealth in your business, and how these are critical pillars in eventually maximizing the valuation of your business. So,
The question,
and
first
that's why
question
I've
one
put
would
the
ask
title.
me is,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No,
This
no,
is
I
so
was just going to
exciting.
say it is, and that's one of the reasons why I actually put valuation in the title of this event. Because while we are today talking about building, maximizing the value in your business and building wealth, eventually these are critical pillars when your business is being valuated. And
Yeah.
most business owners in their early stages, and now I'm talking about strictly brick and mortar businesses, business, old school businesses, if you will, they very rarely
Yeah.
look at that as
Built
one
for
of
life.
those
I call
long
them.
term goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They are built for
Survey,
life.
built for life, totally. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit of a pause and address this. One of our listeners has put up a question to say, what is retired anyway? So true. What is retired anyway? Because that
Yes.
word doesn't exist in most of our minds now. Because it just, I would, interestingly, this is what I was talking to Evan, as most of our wonderful listeners already know. Evan and I have built and worked together within Dare to Scale, along with our associate coaches. Just yesterday, I was having this chat with him to say, I want to be working. I want working in quotes, but I want to be delivering and doing what I do, what I love to do, till my last breath. I mean, if I
Yeah.
50 years down the line pass away while talking on stage, I think I would love that, because there's no such thing as
Yes.
retired and then do what? Because the constantly is and then do what is always there. Is
Yeah.
that for you as well, Surabhi? Because the word retired doesn't resonate.
Yeah, and not at all. I mean, that was my fancy idea because when I was in the business, it kind of was uh, once you take a decision that you want to exit, you know,
Yeah.
then you want to quickly exit because patience is not at all
Yes.
my virtue. It's not any entrepreneur's virtue per se, because if we were patient, we wouldn't be doing what we do, right?
Yeah.
So if the idea comes, then we want to have the results as quickly as possible. And I
Yeah.
believe that because we are so driven, that
Yeah.
demand is right. But at the same
Yeah.
time, there is always a place where you need that stillness to figure out what's
Yes.
important. And
Yeah.
having a goal is one thing, but having a right goal is totally different
Yes.
thing. And
Yes.
I have so many conversations where people are inspired by brands that are built over generations, and I want to
Yes.
be that
Yes.
brand, they say. And I want to encourage today's entrepreneurs that's great,
Nice.
but how about you creating your own brand for the future? You know what I mean?
Nice.
So being
Yes.
inspired by previous generations and brands built, that
Totally.
was a different generation and era. We came out of depression and we were struggling for
Yes.
money and basics, And
Yeah.
today that's not the case. Today's, I
No.
mean, millennia and Gen Z is definitely not in that era. So what
No.
business would you be built today for that generation may
Yeah.
not follow the same line of path that those big brands followed, successful companies followed, and where they are today. So they themselves
Yeah.
are reinventing at much faster pace than we can imagine sitting here. So yeah,
Having said
great.
that, I know we're digressing a little bit, but I want to pick up your point, mainly to say that, and because you said the word inventing or reinventing, I want to go a step further and say, at every phase, in every century, every decade, everybody has gone through their level of invention, innovation, and that's why we are where we are today. It's somehow
Absolutely.
invention, innovation has suddenly been the buzzword for the last couple of decades, and yet if we weren't always inventing or if we weren't always innovating something, we wouldn't be here. So I want to put back innovation to every single business that ever started,
Yeah.
because at every phase we're wanting to do something better. And I just made a note over here to say, well, again, what is success? And for me, success is that constant quest for knowledge. It is about the quest for constant improvement. So we move away from the perfection stage and we go to constant innovation, constant improvement. What we did yesterday can be done better today. Literally, if we look at it like
Yeah.
that, what a wonderful world, never mind world to live in, but also if we just look at our businesses, what a great way to look at a business like that. It's about constant or continuous
Absolutely.
improvement. Kaizen. So,
Yes.
um,
Oh, I'm a
um,
big fan of that. Good that you use that
isn't it?
word.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's get on to today's topic, because I am very keen to know what your thoughts are on that and what are some of the things that you're contributing. And I want to build that along with my take on what I do for creating legacy businesses. So I'm going to hand over the mic to you, Surbi, to talk about what does maximizing value in your business even mean? Because for a lot of people, those could just be words. And yet, those are
Yeah.
words of wisdom. So over to
Yeah.
you. Go for it.
I'm going to take a step back and first talk about why is this even important topic? Why one should even care? And then we will
Yeah.
get into, once you get that what's the benefit of this? Why should I care about this point? Because most of the entrepreneurs think I'm barely fighting the battles of today. I'm barely keeping up with what my business demands and the growth that I seek. What is she talking about value? Right now, it's
Yeah.
not even on my horizon. But uh,
Yeah.
through my personal life experiences and then observing through that lens more so, what I realize is life is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
First, you know it, I know it, we have lived it.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
never know what situation
Yeah.
business is going to be, and therefore you, as a consequence of it, isn't going to be the situation, right? I want to give you an example here. I know somebody, a company who
Yeah.
has been built over last 15, 16 years, been doing very
Mm-hmm.
well. They are almost market leader in their own region and space. Now, a
Mm-hmm.
global brand, much deeper pockets, much more stable and proven success track record, wants to enter the market. And they approach this company, this
Mm-hmm.
business, doing a handshake, saying that we would like to partner with you because you guys know the market, you understand the language, the culture, and it will be so much easier for us to shake hands and get in the business
Mm-hmm.
together. These guys
Mm-hmm.
are super excited, the company, right? Great, we'll get more
Mm-hmm.
capital, we'll get more opportunities, the business will grow, etc., etc. Then what
Mm-hmm.
comes is we would like to take this much stake, and this is what we are willing to pay for it over a period of time, right? Now, when
Yeah.
they look at that number, it's a heartache for them. It's an angry moment for them. We work so much blood and sweat in this business, and these guys are valuing it at this price. Now,
Yeah.
the back is on the wall, right? Because if they accept this offer, it's peanuts. If they do not accept
Yeah.
this offer, the brand, big brand, is going to enter the market and either become a competition or shake hands with somebody else. So either ways, it's a big competition for these guys. Now, what do you do?
Yeah.
Is it an opportunity or is it a calamity? So, but if you would have working on
Ooh, I
your
like that.
valuation,
Yeah,
I
is
mean,
it an
it's true, right?
opportunity
And
or a
it's not,
calamity?
it's,
Very true.
yeah.
Totally true.
Thank you. And because they actually, I feel the grief on their side. At the same time, what do we
Mhm.
do? And no entrepreneur, see, this is all about having a freedom to decide, freedom to do what you like to do. And suddenly now
Yeah,
somebody else is dictating the terms, and you never signed up for that. So it kind
yeah.
of goes against why you started the business, right? But
Hmm.
sorry to say, you didn't care enough in the beginning. If you would have been careful that I want to build value in my business from day one and monitor that number, I would have done better. So this
Can
is
I
one
pause
simple
you there,
example.
Survey,
Sure.
just
Yeah.
to just to share my slightly different take on that? To say, most when you said at that stage in the beginning, maybe you didn't care enough, and I want to put that slightly different spin to say most people even may care enough, they just don't know enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because as new business owners or even seasoned business owners, when we say seasoned, people who've been running their business for 3, 5, 7, 10 years, may know it, but maybe they don't know where to start. So it's a little bit of both. Care factor, sure, because in the beginning that's the last thing on your mind. Like Evan, it was Evan who says, "Well, no one jumps out of bed to maximize valuation. It is about building for life." It is totally true, Evan. Thank you for joining the conversation on the sidelines today. But it is. It really is about, most people don't know. Most business owners don't know that
Yeah.
that is one of those larger pictures out there. So
Right.
whether they care or not, they probably don't even know they should be caring about something. That's all. Please, over to you.
But like I said in the when I started on this point, right? I mean, first I want to talk why is this important, because when I talk about it, most of the entrepreneurs have
Yeah.
that reaction that
Yeah.
why should I even care? I have so many problems to solve right now that this is not on my horizon. Coming back to the
Yeah.
point, okay, maybe choice of word. I didn't mean that they don't care. It's kind of
No, no,
a
no. Perfect. You're right.
not
I
on the
just wanted to
priority.
clarify
It's
for
not
our
on the
listener.
priority list. Yeah, it's not on the priority for them,
Yeah.
right? I fully get. I mean, I was there
Yeah.
at one point in time, so I understand. Point being here is there are many opportunities even today in 2018. I can say that 2018 there was a big report survey done. 53% of business owners, and I'm talking about businesses that are built for life. 53, Varsha,
Mm-hmm.
53% of business owners would like to exit their business in next 10 years, but they don't know
Yeah.
how. They think
Yeah.
my daughter, my son will take over. But I want to
Yeah.
also tell you the same report said that 4 out of 5 here, 5 children say that they don't want to join that business.
Yes.
They say that, dad, you sell the business or you exit the
Yeah.
business, get the money,
Yeah.
invest in my business, come to my business as a mentor, rather than
Yeah.
pulling me into your business, which I may not be interested, it may not be relevant today, it doesn't
Yeah.
excite me. So that's
Yeah.
where the legacy part is going. Now, what I'm getting at is life can throw many opportunities or many situations where
Yeah.
you may want to you may want to have your value built, because it's not a last minute thing. It is not something that you start doing today and
Yeah.
is done tomorrow. Second
Yeah.
part, when I kind of mention why should they care, I always ask this question to my
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, right? People I talk to. Uh, when you bought a property, when
Mm-hmm.
you anybody when they buy a property, what is the first thing that you will look at? What is the first thing that we look for? Is the
Mm-hmm.
value of that property. Is that value going to increase? Isn't it? So we think that we are going to
Yeah.
buy this property
Yeah.
only if in 10 years is going to give me much higher, better returns. Now,
Yeah.
when that is the asset that you want to acquire and you're so careful about it, you buy small little
Yeah.
shares from a company that is listed in the stock market. You are owner of very teeny tiny part of that company, and you look at the stock market. Is my stock price increasing? you're jumping on the chair, right? Is the market going up? Is my stock, is the company that I purchased stock from is increasing? And here you're sitting with 100% of equity stock of a company, which is mostly in your control, unlike property, unlike the other stock that you bought, and you don't really look at the value of that share, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I want to wake up. I want to wake up all this world in terms of all entrepreneurs like me, where I was at one point in time,
Yes.
that please let's pay attention to this aspect of from the beginning. Earlier you start,
Absolutely.
better, higher the chances of you increasing the value systematically. Even if you do not ever
Nice.
sell, even if your legacy is
Nice.
willing to take over and build it further, you get better investments, you get better debts, you get better opportunities. And when you focus on that number, suddenly the whole business
Yeah.
gets built in so much more calmer, predictable, stable way. And then you sleep peacefully. You retire or you do not retire, but you
Yes.
you 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 build a solid foundation, and then that gives you sense of ease. So that's my reason why I think, and these are plenty. I mean, I can go on how many stories and case
No,
studies I
this
can
is
tell you
you
where it
have
has helped.
set a wonderful. No, this is brilliant. You've set a wonderful. Uh, you've set the scene for why focus on maximizing value, and similarly, I talk about why building wealth. Um, they go hand in hand, and
Yes.
one is a result of the other. So cash generation becomes an easier scenario when we're building value within your business. And yet, most business owners also don't prioritize on actually building value in your or rather building wealth in your business. Then it becomes a game of generating cash and spending cash to scale, sort of with a short term view, if you will, not so much
Yeah.
putting that legacy building, that next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years view on the picture today. So
Totally.
I love that what we're both talking about works as a consequence of each other, if you will. One lends to the other. It's a cycle, it's a circle. It's that yin and yang scenario when one works, the other works to support the other. So it's just these two topics go hand in hand so beautifully within your
Yeah.
business. So Surabhi, what are maybe two or three areas in your business that one can even begin to look at as building value?
Um, yeah, there are many, and if I must uh, prioritize and give few here, I think nothing beats financial numbers. Financial stability is the most important aspect of your business. If that is secured, everything else works. And when I say
Yeah.
finance, I'm talking about revenue. Now, it's not just revenue, right? Your revenue could be increasing, you could be growing year on year, but diversified revenue, for example. So how is that revenue increasing also is important. How diversified, otherwise one industry stops, one type of customers, one geography goes away, and suddenly you're toppling down. So diversified revenue, very important uh, aspect. Now your profits, your gross profit will tell you how your sales is doing, how your marketing campaigns are running, what's your branding. You passionately talk about brand promise, Varsha, I know that. So when we are talking profit, I'm talking about profit from what? So your gross profit, and if your sales are actually showing that profit, right? And your net profit, then your operational efficiency comes in the picture. If for example, okay, your revenue is growing steadily, your numbers show that your revenue is growing steadily, and your profit, your fixed cost should remain same. Most of the fixed costs should remain same. Your sales and your operational delivery cost can increase, but other than that, your fixed cost should remain same. You have the same office, you have mostly same HR, same recruitment team, same admin. It shouldn't increase. Most of these things shouldn't increase. Now, if your profit is not going, considering that fixed price and increasing slightly better than it should have increased, it actually tells me so clearly about the financial discipline of the organization. It tells me issues in the leadership straight. There are no two, and any valuer will look at it. I mean, anybody who wants to look at your business, purely health of the business, these are clear telling points, and it works beautifully. So I'll say revenue diversification in multiple ways, right? Not just this profit. And I think both of us dance to the tune of cash is king, right?
Yeah.
um, um,
Yes, we
because
do.
see, look, it's very simple to me in my mind, right? Growth needs cash, and it's
Yeah.
easier to dig a well than make it rain. So if you have cash in the pocket, cash in the bank, cash in the business, liquidity I'm talking about, then you can grow. There is a beautiful article actually written by Harvard Business Review HBR, how fast your business can afford to grow. Maybe I would like many people to read it, because it talks about people aspire to grow, but then they look at, I don't have money to develop new products, innovate, I don't have money to do marketing, I don't have money to do sales. So you cannot grow because you don't have liquidity, you don't have extra cash. So for me, cash, third part, liquidity, most important thing, right? So these are some of the financial numbers that are extremely important. Second comes is a competitive advantage, I think. I will rate that because uh, it takes no time to commoditize. Today, all information is available. If you are winning in a particular industry, a particular place, then what is stopping somebody
Yeah.
else to create copy that, right? And just replicate
Yeah.
and do it better, because they are not struggling through the cycle of inventing something or creating something, thinking through something. Now, in that
Yeah.
case, what's your competitive advantage? You should know it. Don't even declare it to people, but you should know it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's where you can claim your money. That's where you can rate charge better, because it's so. And I have been in services business. We had products, but we had services. That's the diversified revenue channels, right? So most of the services, and this is my experience today working with all other entrepreneurs, if they are in services, they tend to think, what competitive advantage can I create, right? Because everybody is doing it, I'm
Yeah.
also doing it. What competitive advantage I can create? But it's that's where innovation should come in. People think innovation is building rocket. No, it's not. It's in the books. It's in your Excel sheet. You must look at it and
Yeah.
build that competitive advantage. It could be speed of delivery. It could be some cutting edge technology. It could be cost of ownership being reduced. Like we used to work with open source technology, right?
Yeah.
We would go to bank and we would say cost of ownership comes down drastically, and
Yes.
we had a small team who would deliver at speed. So if you want something done like that, you call a big, CMM5 companies, they will take 3 months, 6 months. You call these guys, they will do it in 2 weeks, 1 month, whatever. So, so that gave a competitive advantage. So even in the smallest of the services company, you still should force yourself to know your competitive advantage and build around it. Build your HR policies, build your incentive system, build all of that around that competitive advantage, so that it's known to everybody and it's kind of cherished in the company.
It
So
is.
yeah. And see, if you are in a business where you can create intellectual property, some kind of something that is unique to you, and people would want uh, that property, then you become a really great target for investor or even handshake, right? Any kind of partnership. So
That
even if
I want to add on that one point that you said about um, if you are in a business where you can create intellectual property. I go a step further and say that IP, that your unique way of doing things, if you will, can be built in every single business out there, every single industry out there, every single profession out there. It
yeah,
is it just requires that creative thinking to say, what is that one thing that I control? What is that choke point that me as a company, me as a business owner, and my organization controls, and how can we perfect that to the point where it is so well defined and well differentiated that that handshake, those investors will come for that one thing, because by controlling that choke point, by creating that IP within your organization, you are essentially controlling that section of the market.
Yes. And
And
I'm going to
that,
add to your,
yeah, go on.
sorry,
Yeah, go on, go
I
on.
think that's where, see, thinking is a hard job, right? It's the most difficult job. And sometimes we get lazy to think. But in my experience, that's where a coach is required to push. I'm not giving up unless and until you tell me what's your competitive advantage. And it forces the
Absolutely.
entrepreneur CEO to actually sit.
And help them actually build it. Help the, if you
Yes,
can't see the competitive advantage, the one of the biggest strengths that I see in my role as a coach is really to say, I can see it, I'm going to lead you to that path where you can see it, and then I'm going to hold your hand to actually build it within your business and own it to the point where no one else does it better than you can.
yes.
So you're
I
totally
remember
right
our
when you say
conversation about brand promise, m- what you always, and it's so important. And when it is uh, made as a focal point and you build organization
yes,
around that, you definitely
yeah,
have always will have a upper hand and a say in the marketplace.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, and I think so financials, competitive advantage, and
yeah.
third, if I may read, then your operational efficiency. Uh,
Nice.
because when I say cash is king, and when I say that you need liquidity because growth is attached to that, if
Yeah.
you have operations which are just lazy and all over the place, you lose it.
Yes.
And second
Most of the
point,
time, not even realizing that operations are all over the place, because sometimes in the thick of it, most companies almost look at that. Isn't that how things are done anyway? Aren't we busy
yeah,
being busy? And it
yeah,
really is to say that busy being busy, and if they are all over the place, actually recognize that for what they are, admit and accept and recognize that improvement can be done even over here, because that's where your actual cash is hidden. And
yes,
Evan and I do a lot of work on this in stripping that down to say, let's
yes,
see where your every single fill, every single paisa, every single penny is hidden in your business, and let's bring that out. Because
yes.
if it's hidden, it's dribbling away, and that's either you're leaving money on the table or it's literally dribbling away out of your business. So great point on operational efficiency.
Yeah, and I say it for two things. One is I okay, the way you said it, bang on. Uh, so many business will have so many different pockets, and the money will be hidden in
Yeah.
so many different pockets, and you
Yes.
have forgotten that I have this pocket and I have that pocket, and it could be here and it could be there. So business typically, when I say you, it's easier to dig a well than make it
Yeah.
rain. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
that go and dig from your own pockets, and you will have so
Mhm.
much simple, proper tax planning, proper
Yeah.
facility from the bank, negotiating with them for your interest and other cost. All of these actually will work towards you having more money in your hand
Yes.
to invest or not. Up to you.
Yeah.
Second point, I think operations also need to be built, in my experience. Uh, it takes, question is, will it work without you? Will your company work without you?
Yeah.
Most of the time, answer is no. Most of the
No.
time, somehow the image that they have taken in their head, which is, I vehemently say it's wrong. Sorry, but strong words, but it's like I'm riding a tiger. And if I
We
get
like
down from
strong
the
words on the power hour, so go for it.
I'm riding a tiger, and if I get down with the tiger, tiger is going to bite my back.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get down. I because they see everybody doing it, it's somehow
Yeah.
never challenged. That is this how it should be done? question is that the biggest question is that
Yeah.
most of my CEOs that I'm working with
Yeah.
always start on the point, I don't have time for coaching.
Yeah.
If you tell me, Surabhi, to do X, I have no time to go back. I said, okay,
Yeah.
we are going to start. First thing, my first exercise to all my clients is, Varsha, I need your timesheet. I need
Yeah.
your timesheet
I
from
need to
6
see
in the
your
morning
calendar.
till 10.
Totally. Absolutely.
Because then and trust me, I don't even do anything. In a
Yeah.
month's time, they only start seeing the pattern and
Yeah.
they realize, what am I doing? And they start
Yeah.
circling around that these things shouldn't be done by me because first there
Yeah.
is so much repetition.
Yeah.
I want their headspace completely empty of operations so that we can
Yeah.
talk strategy, so
Yeah.
that we can talk about growth. Otherwise, how
Yeah.
are you going to get creativity of any sort to actually look at where is my money stuck or what's my brand promise or what's my promise? It's impossible. So,
You're
okay, I said
you're
it.
speaking my language
Financials,
now. Thinking
sorry?
creatively, thinking strategy. I said you're speaking my language now. Thinking
Yeah,
creatively, thinking strategy. And it is because that's what, as a founder, you should be thinking about. And I
yeah,
use the word should because I know should is a very strong word as well. And I deliberately use that over here is because if you are not focused on that,
yeah,
then you are not fulfilling your role as the head of the business like you are meant to be, because people are looking at you for leadership, people are looking you for that big vision, people are looking at you to set the tone, set the path. But if you are literally counting pebbles on your path, you have no idea where the path actually is, how you have no hope of actually leading your people to
yes. You
success.
you
So
you gave a proper visual in terms of pebbles, you know. So I totally
yeah.
agree with you. So I hope I
Yeah,
answered your three
you
points:
did.
financials,
You
competitive
totally
advantage,
did. And
operations.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna summarize that to say your first point was the first area was finance.
Yes, financial
Check your finances.
stability. Yeah. Yeah. Revenue,
Yeah.
profits, cash.
Financial stability. Second was, yeah. Second
Competitive
was
advantage.
building your competitive
Competitive
advantage.
advantage.
And the third, operation. Yeah. And the third is operational efficiency.
Right.
Three very key areas on even beginning to know where to maximize value, where to bring out the value. When I say maximize, maybe even let's start with recognizing where value can be built within your businesses.
Yeah.
So, and I want to take it a step further to say the one place where I start, as most people know, like who I work with, is strategy. Because if
Yeah.
you find there's a problem with cash, go back to strategy because the answer is over there. Either in the definition of that strategy that you have built for your business, or the complete lack of a strategy. Because most
Yeah.
people think, I have a great product and I know where to sell it, who's going to buy it, and I know approximately how much to sell it for, and bam, there's my business. So that in many cases, even 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, most recently I came across a business good 12 years down the line. Where is the overall big picture strategy? So if you
Hmm.
don't know, then you will struggle with these areas to even
Yes.
recognize what value building even is. So start all the way back to strategy to say, hang on, let's actually look at what this business even means. What gap does it address in the market? Because if
Yeah.
you don't know what gap you are addressing in the market, you are constantly on that little, no, treadmill, if you will, but you're so busy
Hamster
running
wheel.
that you're not actually moving anywhere. You're not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yes.
So
And you get tired.
you get tired, you get burnt out, you get the feeling of overwhelm. The other thing that I want to add over here is, so I'm just going to give my couple of areas where I like to look at when we say what is it to build, recognize, build value, and recognize, build wealth in your business. Second one is, who do you bring in into your business? Who are your people? How
Hmm.
strong is your leadership that you're building within your business? It does leadership in your business still mean just you, or do you actually build that talent, allow that talent to grow, nurture that talent to grow through the ranks, and say, I am now focused on building a leadership team, because tomorrow you have someone potentially coming in for that handshake, or potentially coming in to say, well, I'm going to invest or buy you outright. You're essentially putting yourself in the market,
Yeah.
on the market, not your business. Because the minute you exit, if you don't
Yeah.
have a strong leadership team, an actual accountable CEO in place who is driving your strategy forward, you are not building value in your business. You have no hope of building wealth in your business.
You're, you're, you summarized it and you put it and you prioritize points absolutely in that order. Uh, the we are talking here maximizing value of the business. You are not part of it. We are talking
No,
business. We are not talking you.
no.
If you have to be all in sales and marketing and operations and
Yeah,
admin, it's impossible. It's
it is important.
impossible. Yeah.
Totally. And just one of those examples I want to give. Just recently, Evan and I were in a very long coaching conversation with a long term client of ours, and it's a well established business, and it just it takes a while for business owners to get that. It's important for you as a business owner to know exactly how every area in your business works. It's absolutely important. So then you know who to bring in to replace
Mm.
you.
Yes.
But it's even harder for business owners to understand that while you must know everything that happens in your business, you are not supposed to be doing everything.
No.
You've got to
I
be
just
able
want
to take a step back.
when you
Yeah,
said
go for it.
when you said harder, it's hard for business owners to know. I
Yeah,
just what came up in my head right now. So
yeah.
now I'm looking at coaching as my third uh,
Hmm.
work. I can't call it as a business per se. The greed and temptation was to impact as many businesses versus just build my own and create that
Yeah,
impact, right? So,
yeah,
but then for me myself, after building all these businesses, after me claiming all this experience and knowledge and understanding,
yeah,
I personally had to go through who am I? What's my offer? I started with I'm going to be a
yeah,
profit coach.
yeah,
I'm going to be a business advisor. To finally settling down on because I want to work with the person who is most responsible and
yeah,
required in the whole
yeah,
business. Therefore, call myself CEO coach. So
yeah.
for me, but I knew the importance of me having that clarity before I go to market and start talking about what I'm
Uh-huh.
offering, right? So
Hmm.
I'm so with all the entrepreneurs and your point that it's hard, but it has to be
It is
done.
hard.
There
It totally
you
has to
cannot
be done.
there's no lazy way around this. So
No,
uh,
no,
I
no.
I accept
In
that it's
fact,
hard.
it is hard, and in fact, one
Yeah.
of the largest chunks of our journey with people who we work with, business, especially building, bringing in the second generation or even the original founder through, is delinking yourself from your business. Because when we are talking building value and building wealth in your business, it's important that you delink yourself from the business. Many business owners, even years later, still identify the business as themselves,
Yeah.
and
Why is
they're
that, Varsha? I mean, if I can deviate one point,
can you
what do you
that
think it's the one reason for that?
oh, emotional entanglement. This is mine, I have built it just yesterday, and this is something, it's been a pet peeve of mine, and I've even written it in our book, and Evan and I wrote in our book, is to say, stop calling your business your baby. It is not your
Yes,
baby.
100%. I did
It,
that.
I
I will say
keep saying
I've
this
done that.
over and over and over again. People actually start giggling when I start saying that, and I say, you can giggle away, that my message is penetrating. Thank goodness. Because the minute you say your business is your baby, you're not allowing the business to grow, you're not allowing yourself to grow, you're not allowing the people within your business to grow, because you are actually emotionally placing a level of control on your business where you're unable to let go. And the more you let go, the larger and the more stronger it's going to become. the larger and stronger it is, the more successful it is in sustaining all the people who are stakeholders within your business, whether it's your team and their families. You're literally putting food on people's tables. So
Yes,
it's up
100%.
to you to be able to emotionally mature and listen to your coaches when we talk about, and we really help them step by step to say, how do you de-link yourself, not
Yeah,
detach yourself, de-link
yeah,
yourself, so you get an external view and actually work on your business. These are just buzzwords now. Work on your
yeah,
business, not in your
yeah,
business. What does that even
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
To
They
begin
don't know
with,
that. Yeah, yeah,
emotionally delinking yourself and allowing your business to flourish. Give it what it wants, not so much only to give it what you think it wants or what give yourself what you think you
true.
want. So there are
Yeah,
different levels that we dig into.
yes,
Does that
100%.
answer
I
your question?
also, yes, 100%. I also add to the point that stop calling this is my family. It's not your family. Your family is at home.
Absolutely, it is
And
not, because you're setting the wrong expectations. I love it.
I,
Please.
I tell them that you're. This is an army. You are a
Yes.
general of the army. You protect them. You safeguard them. Don't send them anywhere where they're you know that they're not going to really thrive and flourish. At the same time, ensure that they know who's talking and what needs to be talked,
Yes.
and
Yes.
who makes the decisions. They can brainstorm, but then finally there has to be one decision maker responsibility with somebody, and you listen, and then you just follow, because it becomes
Totally.
so much of entangled web of
Yes.
nobody taking any responsibility of a
Yes.
decision, right?
And a
uh,
lack of a clear message, a
yeah,
lack of clear direction also
yeah,
is a very strong byproduct of that. And
yeah.
again, Shruti, it seems like we're digressing for the listeners, and yet we are not. No, we are not. I don't believe we're digressing at all. What we are doing is we are addressing some of the burning issues out there that we can see head on, to say,
Yeah,
if you see this happening in your business, this is directly adversely affecting the value that you're building in your business.
absolutely.
So be
Yes.
aware of that. Open
Yeah,
your eyes, go in with it with your eyes wide open.
yeah,
So while it may look like we're not talking about maximizing value, these are all points that actually adds to the value. So it's actually a brilliant discussion, I think, and I love that we're both bringing our own experiences, our own points of perspectives to
yeah,
this. So it just a so critical when it comes to eventual success of businesses. There are many aspects, of course,
yeah.
but these two aspects are rarely talked about in depth,
Yes,
because most people um, focus on what is your immediate burning fire today that you need to put out.
yes. They can't see, like you said, pebbles under the feet, right? I mean, they're just counting that.
Yeah, totally. So, again, just as a quick reminder to people who've been now listening to us for close to an hour, this is the Power Hour by Dare to Scale. We come live, Evan and I usually come live, and then occasionally we have brilliant guest speakers like this. So, thank you for joining us. Keep continuing and keep bringing in some of your questions. I see a few questions usually come through in our, as soon as we announce the event, a few questions come through on our email, yourcoach at darescale.com. A couple of questions that came through. Surbi, are you okay if we address a couple of questions over
Yes,
here?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah. One of the questions actually came through was, I think we have addressed, but I want to just put it out there and to say, how are they different, building value and building wealth?
sorry, how are they?
How are they different? How is building value in your business different from building wealth in your business? Do you want to take it? And we'll both take it, but I'll hand the
Yeah,
mic to you.
why don't you start? Wealth is
Well,
your favorite topic.
they are. So to me, building value is initially it might look like an intangible. So building wealth is something that is so tangible you can actually touch, see, feel it. So building wealth is a product of very strongly building value in your business. They
Yeah,
must go hand in hand. Like earlier I was talking about that yin and yang. So if that black and white swirls within the circle, one leads to the result of the other. And when you have that wealth built in, You can then reinvest to continue building and adding to the value that you're always already building in, which then lends itself to building more wealth, so to more liquidity, to more ability to build wealth. So for me, they are different because they tackle with different aspects. One just feels a little intangible because most people think, okay, I'm building the value in my business, and then what? How do I know? You know when you have better liquidity, when you have a stronger, larger goals to reach for, and you know when you have organically build the wealth to reinvest to go reach for those bigger milestones that you built.
Yes.
That's how I would put it.
Yeah, and just to expand on the value aspect of it,
Yeah.
typically when you think of value of a business, we are
Hmm.
talking about something as uh, tangible and perceived.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
rather, I'm sorry, I mean intrinsic and perceived. I mean, in intrinsic, then you have tangible and intangibles.
Yeah.
So, this is going a little bit in the technicalities of it, but
No, do go. Yeah.
if you just look at, I'm going to say it in Indian context, but it's applied everywhere. If you started your company with some first share capital, and
Yeah.
your value of your each share was 10 rupees, after doing whatever you're doing, is it what's the value today? That's your
Yes.
book value. Your
Yeah.
accountant, your CA, your auditor will give you that, right? And if that 10 has become 11, great.
Yeah.
If and if you monitor that, then you constantly understand if your business value of your business,
Hmm.
intrinsic value, the book value of your business is increasing. Now,
Yeah.
when I'm talking about, sorry, yeah, tangible value. When I'm talking about intangible value, we are talking about your competitive advantage, your marketing, your leadership team, your discipline, financial discipline, your cash in the bank. Are you cash positive? How many times do you borrow? Are you what's your working capital ratio? Let me put it that
Yeah.
way, right? There are many
Yeah.
ratios that one can monitor, and it helps.
You bet.
Sometimes people think I'm a 40 people company. I have my revenue is barely this. Why should I even care? But
Yeah.
you must care, because the smaller you are, these numbers make more sense, and your decision making gets a framework. You know,
Yes.
otherwise we are looking at how should I decide? He said that, she said that. What should I be doing? Right? These numbers can actually guide you. So when we look at intangibles, these are covered. Now we are having a perceived, what is the market's understanding of your
Nice.
industry's understanding of your business? If
Nice.
you, I met somebody, I want to create a company which will do PRO services.
Yeah.
I said, why? Why? There are like thousands and millions of people who are doing these PRO services here in Dubai.
Yeah.
What's new? Give me
Yeah.
why. And then he told me about automation and what software
Yeah.
he's going to make, right? Okay, so he's thinking of a competitive advantage, he's thinking of a need, and therefore he's doing that.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the market size of it, there is a ceiling. How many people are
Hmm.
coming in? How many people? It's only for Dubai. It may not be UAE. Maybe it may not be applied all over the globe.
Yeah.
So there is a limit to that already put in.
Yeah.
But if you are actually building something which the perception of that product or that service is as large as the globe is, the value
Yeah.
suddenly becomes higher.
You bet.
So then
Yeah.
that's the value, right? I mean, we are talking very uh, when you talk wealth here, we are talking liquidity, we are talking money in the bank, cash positive, assets built, all of that.
Yeah.
When I'm talking value, I'm going a lot beyond that. How stable is your business?
Yeah.
1 year you got really great contract, and therefore you did that, and you
Yeah.
can't sustain it next year because it was a fluke. So
Yeah.
you kind of doubt, and then what do you do with these resources that you acquired to get that service, give that
Yeah.
service, right? It's a doomsday actually. I mean, it's
It is.
detrimental almost. Yeah.
It is.
So I mean, even with me, if a customer is giving me 1 year contract, I will negotiate heavily if you give me a 3 year contract,
Yes.
because that's stability. My second year's revenue is already kind of booked.
Yeah.
Of course, COVID kind of situations can change things, but
Yeah.
they're rare, right? So we can at least go with chances of this happening are better. So when I talk finance, I'm talking about stability, I'm talking about predictability. And that gives a confidence to the business owner so it's an emotional stability that you get, right, as an entrepreneur. Therefore, you
Peace
build.
that
Yes,
bringing
peace.
in to the thinking. This is, and I'm very, very happy you're talking about this, because Evan, being the fractional CFO, this is exactly what he talks about.
Yeah.
And when I wish there were times when we could actually record some of those conversations to think how exactly like you were literally breaking it down to make it easily digestible, to take that very abstract view and now make it super tangible, to say this is why you do it, because this is how you go home and get a good night's sleep,
Yes.
because that's
Varsha, I
essentially
lived
what
it.
you're saying.
I'm an engineer, right? I was not trained for this. I didn't
Yeah,
know what debit and credit is, which way,
yeah,
where, what number goes in which column. So
yeah,
for me to understand this, somebody had to break it down for me.
yeah,
And I was blessed and lucky enough to have that person, that
absolutely,
advisor who did that for me. My
absolutely.
MIS reports actually made me understand my business better than I had ever understood it before when I
Nice,
started looking at those numbers. So
very
for
nice.
me now is my responsibility job here is to break it down to the next entrepreneur who doesn't know this, because he's a product or service person, right? He's not a finance person at all.
No,
So that's where it makes starts making sense for them.
you bet it does. So there's just one other. There are several questions over here, but one I definitely want to address at this stage is, again, this was something that has come through within our conversations, to say at which point is a great time to start thinking about this. So we have already talked about it. We both talked about this. I'm just going to take it straight away from before you even go get a trade license to run your business. That's when you actually start talking about this. this
Yeah,
is this is not, and is it ever too late? Never. It is always the right time to talk about it, because
yeah,
it, it's like I usually say, it's about from this point on.
yeah,
Forget about, fine, we've made mistakes in the past. I refuse to call them mistakes. I refuse to call them failures, because if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't be where you are today.
yeah.
We learn from it and we move on.
Yes,
So from this point on, any time is a great time to think about identifying and maximizing value in your business, identifying and extracting the hidden sources of cash to be able to build wealth in your business. When is the ideally the right time to start about? The minute you think, I have a product, I think I can sell it, and I think I can turn this into a business.
yeah,
That's when you first start thinking about, what does business even mean? Because
yeah,
so far, if I were to summarize this, Surbi, our entire hour-long conversation really has been about learn how to run a business first.
yeah.
You have a
Yes,
great product, you're already good at that. We get it. Now learn how to run a successful, stable business,
yes.
which will
Absolutely.
outlive you.
Yeah.
So, is that a fair assessment? So, over to you if you want to add to that. When is a great time to start thinking about building value?
I think entrepreneurs being driven and focused and have those innate ability, and that's why they jump into this.
Yeah.
Uh, just the conscious awareness of this
Hmm.
this aspect of business changes everything for them.
Yeah.
No, nothing new, nothing extraordinary
No.
has to happen.
No.
The moment you say that today my equity, my price of my one share is 10 rupees or 10 dirhams, and I
Yeah.
want to increase it, suddenly everything starts getting dictated by that one goal.
Absolutely. You bet it
You
does.
identify your numbers differently, you relate to them differently, you make
Yeah.
changes accordingly, you
Yeah.
start delinking yourself the way you said it, and start building your team,
Yeah.
trusting people, and most importantly, clarity, right?
Yeah.
When you get that clarity, your team does get it definitely.
Yeah.
And that's all is required. So time is today.
Time is today. You bet. This from this point on. Again, what you said reminded me of what Evan usually says as well. Is awareness is cure. The minute you are aware of something,
Yes.
most times the answers are something that we already know. Maybe we don't want to look at it. Maybe we don't think we have the answer. Maybe you think that answer might not actually be the answer. Does it matter? Because the minute you're aware, the answer is already there in front of you. So
Yes,
awareness is cure. So
absolutely. I
just
agree.
becoming aware that this is an area to be looked at, you're already on your way. Yeah, time is today, says Evan. So yeah, no, this has absolutely been a brilliant conversation. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today on this. And Power Hour will continue. Conversations like these will continue. And do join in, because the whole point of running a power hour for the last 2 3 years for both Evan and I has been to bring up conversations that are rarely talked about. And Surbi,
Yes.
that's why earlier I said we like strong words on power hour, because
Yes.
most of us shy away from being judged when we talk about specific strong areas or
Y- y-
topics.
Everything about you is there too, right? So
Today,
I
yeah,
get it.
exactly. Just
Yes.
say what's on your mind, because if not here, then where? If not today,
Yes.
then when? Just it's that bold ambition that we have in us is the whole point of drawing this out into the open and just say it as it is.
I
We'll
agree.
see where it goes from
100%.
there. Survi,
Great.
thank you so very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Being such a pleasure to be here and share my thoughts, ideas, and bounce them off. And we really click good with good, you know.
We did,
It,
isn't it? I see
yes.
another power hour happening in the near future. What do you say?
Would love to. Yes. So many
And
points, so many things not yet said here, right? I mean,
exactly, there is so much to talk about, and such a rich conversation when we
absolutely.
really pick
Yeah.
this area, particularly, which is not delved into too much. It's
Yeah.
like a rich
Varsha, the best
tapestry.
thing is we have actually lived this. We are not
Yes,
coming from we are not
yes,
coming from a coaching school saying
totally,
we will do this, right?
totally.
I have I
We've
have sat
literally
in the
lived this.
middle of the night in the bed on the bed, thinking how am I going to do the salaries?
Yeah,
How am I going to take care of these costs? I've lived that.
exactly,
I
exactly.
connect emotionally there. Yeah. So great.
37
Thank you so much for
years.
having me.
37 years. I've been doing this for 37 years. I've lived
Wow.
this from the age of 16. I have lived this in real life. So, yes, 99% of what we spoke about, Surbi, you and I, we have lived it. And
Yes.
that's why we do what we do. Because if we can save that 1% of heartache and headache for someone else, bring it
Oh,
on. Why not?
yes. Yeah,
So,
100%. I feel
yes,
used, right? I'm breathing on this earth. I want to give back, and that's my way. I think that's the path
yeah,
for me now.
very
Great.
much so.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been
Thank you.
really great. Enjoyed the
Thank you.
conversation.
And as you know, we are live streaming on LinkedIn, we're live streaming on YouTube, and live streaming on our Facebook pages. And also, importantly, this entire conversation will now be uploaded as an audio version, as a podcast on the Dare to Scale show. So as soon as this is done, Survey, I will share the link with you. Feel free to spread the word and get people to listen in and share their thoughts.
100%.
Speak to you very soon again. And
Same here.
speak to you, everybody, our wonderful listeners. Thank you for joining us, and keep those questions coming. See you next time.
Thank you.